In the last episode, we talked about Eden, the garden where heaven, God's space, and earth, human space, intersected. It was a place where God walked among us, where the appearance of angelic beings would also have been normal. Adam and Eve were given the mandate to fill and subdue the earth, to care for it and to spread Eden, and be the human presence of God's kingdom. The whole earth was theirs, and they could do anything and enjoy all of creation. Well, except for one thing. There were two unique trees in the garden, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam not to eat of the second tree, or else they would die. Welcome to Building Mettle, brought to you by Baird & Wilson Sheet Metal. Okay, lots of questions here. Among them, why put a tree in the garden with fruit that kills you and then create the one rule for them to break? There are a lot of theologians that have tried to tackle this one for centuries. Somehow, the answer is probably tied to the idea of God wanting the humans to choose to love and trust Him rather than not have any option to disobey. Ultimately, we don't have a definite answer for why God does some of the things He does. What we can know with certainty is the kind of God He is. Here's where we go back to one of our first tools we gave out. If you want to know what God is like, look at Jesus. And then Genesis chapter 3 introduces us to a new creature in the garden. It says, "Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, 'Has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?' The woman said to the serpent, 'We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.' 'You will not certainly die,' the serpent said to the woman, 'for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.'" Most depictions of this interaction have Eve talking to a snake nestled in a tree. But the text does not say they are anywhere near the tree when this happens. In fact, Eve refers to the middle of the garden as if it is somewhere else. Some time could have transpired for Eve to mull over the serpent's words as they take root in her mind. But eventually, she and Adam do find their way to the forbidden tree. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. They were fooled into placing value in the wrong thing. There's an interesting use of the word translated serpent. The Hebrew word is nahash. This word can have different meanings depending on the context. It can indeed mean snake or serpent. It could also mean a shining one. In any case, we understand this is no ordinary snake that is talking. There are some scholars who point out that the word seraph, a type of angel, also means shining or burning one. So here we have a rebel heavenly being, perhaps a seraph or cherub, who approaches Eve in the garden. It's interesting that Eve doesn't seem surprised that this creature is speaking to her, which makes it seem more likely she knew this serpent, who was more cunning than any beast of the field, was not like the earthly beasts. This was a heavenly being interacting with humans in a place where heaven and earth intersect. This creature didn't like what God was doing. Maybe he didn't like that these humans had so much power and responsibility in this beautiful new creation. How can he disrupt this whole arrangement? By being an agent of chaos. How can he end these humans? By helping them to end themselves. He starts by planting a seed of doubt in the woman's mind. Has God indeed said? The first trick of humanity's enemy is to confuse us about what God did or didn't say. Then he creates doubt about God's intentions. You will not certainly die, the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. In other words, God is keeping you away from the thing that will make you like Him. He's keeping something from you. He does not have your best interest in mind. By eating from this tree, you'll be free to determine good and evil for yourself. You don't need God to do that. You can be your own God. Or Eve may have even thought that this shining one was God's messenger, telling her that God really wants you to eat the fruit so that you can become like Him. Either way, the serpent is a liar whose goal is to ruin humanity. He does so by tricking the humans into valuing something else above God. Does Eve and Adam eat the fruit and then die? This is something we'll look at next. In the meantime, let's grab 3 tools for today. Number 1, there is a shining one that wants to destroy you. Don't believe him. Number 2, God does not lie. Number 3, God has your best interest at heart. This is Eric Snyder. We'll be back again with more from Building Mettle. The music of Building Mettle is a production of Jed Brewer and Good Loud Media, Oak Park, Illinois. Also special thanks to Christ Community Church, Oak Ridge, Tennessee.